Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage and the Thursday afternoon live stream, the last live stream of 2021. I've been doing this for over a year now. I don't even know how long I've been doing this. I mean, the live streams. I think I started them in 2020, I think. So I've been doing these live streams on Mondays at 7 and Thursdays at 3 p.m. And we've had some good live streams. We've had some good turnouts from people. We've had good interactions with people being on the live stream, people commenting on the side over there. And I want to give all of you a hand for being part of this. I've debated on whether I wanted to, keep doing this or not, but we seem to continue to have people join us, and that makes it interesting. Also, I think we resolved quite a few problems for people. We asked for questions. If you have something you need to know about your classic car, or maybe even some modern stuff, if you ask the question, odds are somebody will have an answer. It may not be me, but usually it's over there in a chat box. I do have a lot of knowledge on this stuff, and I try to share what I can, just like I do in my videos. But sometimes I don't have the answer, and it's great to have other people have input. So I think it's a great community and a great format. I guess we'll just keep doing this, right? We'll keep doing this. So 2021 is coming to an end. 2022 is right around the corner. It is, of course, December 30th, and one more day. Now, I will say this. I sort of forgot. I didn't really forget, but I need to do my giveaway for the hats. And I think I may do that video tomorrow. I just may make it tomorrow. The last video of the year will be my hat giveaway. And who knows, maybe I'll talk about some stuff going on around with everything. But it is Thursday, and it is raining and raining and raining and raining and raining. This whole day has been just all through the night, downpours, thunders, not much lightning, a lot of thunder. I was going to say thunderstorms, but it's all thunderstorms. There'll be areas I'm sure flooded all around, but it's interesting that I was looking on my personal Facebook, and I found pictures from this day in 2015. Same thing. High temperatures, lots of water, lots of mud and stuff running down the road. So it's just kind of repeating itself. And the temperature right now is about 63 degrees right here. But again, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it is continuing to rain. I wanted to make sure. I think I have my compressor turned off. I hope I do, because I was actually out here doing some stuff on the Honda panels. So the Honda hood, bumper cover, fender, and grill insert, I've got those in primer, and the goal is to just get them painted and get them on the car. But part of that is getting everything ready for paint. The plan at this point is to get some color on the underside of the hood so that I can prep the rest of the panel, the top, and the other pieces, get them sanded, ready to go for some paint. The underside of the hood, I'm not worried about it. It's just going to have color, no clear coat. That's fine. So I didn't have clear coat from the factory anyway, so it'll all be good. Let's see who's here. Crash Rider, sorry, won't be able to make live broadcast due to belated Christmas celebration today. Have a safe and happy New Year, everyone. I'll give you a bell for that. Maybe you'll hear that later if you're not actually able to. Maybe you have a little, you can be sneaking on your phone. Ray Buckman, good afternoon, Barry. We are 45 degrees, although it's a cool day with a 40-mile-an-hour winds. Tomorrow may have snow, might close the year with it 20 degrees Saturday, 45 Sunday. Trust weather people? No. I agree. I don't trust them either. But I know that it's supposedly at 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's supposed to stop raining, and I'm kind of counting on that. Because I said before, I go out and I do Uber Eats. I deliver food at night. I don't like to do it in the rain, that's for sure. Makes it a little more dangerous. And Ray, hoping for a better 2022 for all, but I have my doubts. Yep. Believe me, I'm with you. Robert, afternoon all, overcast and 74 degrees here. Saturday will finally cool off with the low around 21, but the high around 42 back up to 60s by Tuesday here. Yeah. Well, it's similar here in Georgia. I know that I was looking at this earlier. The weather supposed to drop down to Saturday. Well, Saturday 65 as a low. Sunday low of 36. Monday a low of 30, and then Tuesday a low of 31. And then it's supposed to go back up, but it may not go up much. So this little hiatus we're having of warm, wet temperatures are probably coming to an end briefly. I know it usually doesn't last long in Georgia as far as the cold weather or anything. Boogie Bomb, hi from Nashville, everyone. Glad you're here. And Robert, no more 80-degree temps for a few weeks. Yeah. Jerry, checking in from the Money Pit in Middle Tennessee. Happy New Year to all. Thank you, Jerry. Same to you. Happy New Year, CSL. Happy New Year, Joe, and all in chat. Yes. Happy New Year to you. Phil, hi, Barry. I've noticed blistered paint on the Holden. Not the best way to end 2021. Moisture, I suppose. Thanks for the videos. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I know. I know that feeling. I know that feeling, and I hate it. I hate it for you. Paul Cordeau, hello from the UK. Glad you're here, Paul. I don't know if you've been here before, but if you haven't, welcome. Glad you're here. I'll give you a bell. Glad you're here. Michael Owens, hello from Washington State. Lots of snow here. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you, Michael. Same to you. And Richard, greetings from West Tennessee. Glad you're here. I don't know if have you changed your username? Because I've seen that car before. But yeah, we have Tennessee covered. You know, what's crazy about it, when you have all this rain, and it's not uncommon that whenever it rains, animals try to find a dry ground. You know, they don't want to be wet. They don't want to be stuck in some swampy area. But one of the things that I find always amazing is the night crawlers. Now, we've all seen night crawlers. And I have a funny story I'll relate to you on night crawlers. But this morning I came outside and I took this picture. And that's an average sized night crawler here in Georgia. Now, I don't know how big they get in other parts of the country or whatever, but that's a normal size night crawler here in Georgia. Now, I've got my hand spread there. That's probably 8-9 inches. So you're looking at 25 to 30 inches in length for one of these when they fully stretch out. And we have to be careful because, I mean, those things we want. We really want those alive and doing their job, going and cleaning the earth, you know, living in the earth. That's part of the process. So I came out today, had my dogs out, and it had stopped raining for a period, and there was probably 20 of those things on the driveway, and I'm scooting them off, picking them up and tossing them back out in the grass, because if we were to go anywhere, they would just get squished. We don't want to do that. But anyway, I don't know how big night crawlers get in your area, but I'll have to tell you a funny story about that. Michael Owens, hello from Washington State. Lots of snow here. Happy New Year to everyone. Okay. Oh, I guess I already read that one. Sorry. Leonard, Happy New Year from a cold, rainy, Southern California desert. Glad you're here, Leonard. And Jack, good afternoon, Barry. Glad you're here, Jack. As I was talking about these night crawlers, you know, when you have kids, everything's a toy, right? My youngest son he'd play with strings and rope and all kinds of stuff. And one day I come outside and he was out in the backyard and he's spinning something around. He's spinning it. I thought it was a piece of string or a piece of small rope or something. He's spinning the thing and it's really long. It's really long. And I go walking back. I said, "What do you got there?" And he holds it up and he says, "Nightcrawler." Well, he had been spinning this thing around, and all the innards from that nightcrawler went to the other end of that thing. I'm sure it was dead, but he'd just been spinning that thing around, making a slingshot out of his nightcrawler. It's like, oh, okay. That's not good. Robert, that thing is huge. Worms are rare here and only about 5 inches long. They don't like hard clay soil here. Yeah, I mean this is a normal size nightcrawler, normal size, and they whenever you can always tell the night crawlers whenever they're doing their job because they'll eat through the earth, right? They whatever, clean it, however you want to look at it, and then they push it all out. Well, when they do that, it's almost like they accumulate all they can and then dump it all at once. And you end up with these little pyramids of worm poop out in the yard. And it's probably some of the best soil you could scoop up and use for something, right? But I just knock it over and mow it back into the ground. Bubba, hello and happy New Year from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Glad you're here, Bubba. Dawn, hello from thawing out Portland. More snow tomorrow. Oh boy, it's better than rain though, right? Isn't it? Sort of, maybe. I feel like I'm in Portland right now with the rain we're having. I'm telling you, it is coming down and coming down and coming down. There's a house under construction, 2 houses under construction in my neighborhood, and from that, the water is pulling topsoil or dirt out of their yards and washing it down the road. And we actually had a problem with that last year when the neighbor was starting on the house because it was so bad that there were people from another neighborhood that they're a wealthy neighborhood, so they have like a small lake that we have a school lake. Well, we don't, they do. But that mud was getting into their lake and they were upset about it. And several of them drove over here looking to find out what was going on and try to see who they could hold responsible because their lake wasn't pretty anymore. Not that it hurt anything, it's just going to settle out. But Wally, same here. They're about 4 to 6 inches long. Yeah. Yeah, those things, I mean, those are, they're big. I imagine if you were into eating those sort of things, Georgia would be the place to come to get fresh night crawlers. Because people, apparently people eat that stuff. Protein, right? Dawn, yes, it feels colder at 38 degrees, raining and windy, cuts right through my jeans. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching your video earlier today of the door hinge modifications that you did. I thought that was pretty cool. Hadn't really thought about that before. I almost thought you were going to put a Zerk fitting in that hinge initially. And then I realized it probably would be a bit of a challenge to get a Zerk fitting in there. But I like the idea, having that little port for some grease. Good idea. Good idea. Terry Keithley, Happy New Year, Barry, and all. Stay safe, everyone. Yes, by all means. Bubba, someone told me before how to kill fleas. Use dish in a Miracle-Gro. Oh, dish, I guess, dish soap. I'm guessing dish soap. In a Miracle-Gro bottle and spray your lawn. All the worms surfaced. There was a bunch. Oh, yeah. I don't know about. I'm guessing dish soap. I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah. I try to do what I can to keep the worms alive. Those things are pretty important. Pretty important little critters. In fact, not since we're talking about it, there's there's an invasive worm. I think it's the hammerhead. It's a hammerhead worm. If you haven't seen one of those, they are an invasive species, and they look like an earthworm, like a nightcrawler type of thing, but they have like an arrow, pointy kind of head look to it. So the head's kind of like that shape, and they're an invasive species, and they actually kill earthworms. Yeah, that's what they feast on. So if you ever see one of those things out on your driveway, kill it. It's not supposed to be here. Not supposed to be here. Bubba, dish soap. Sorry about that. From then on, we know how to get worms to go fishing. Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really go fishing. I've tried several times. I'm no good at it, so I don't usually do it. Anyway, like I said, I've been working on the panels for the Honda. Uh, I did have a friend contact me just the other day, just a couple days ago. He's got a 2016 Dodge Ram truck that he was backing up a trailer, jackknifed the trailer, and caved in the side of the bed. And he asked me if I could fix it. I said, well, I can fix it. I just don't know if I can get the truck inside. It's a Ram 1500 crew cab, short bed, but still it's a crew cab. So I have to figure out if I can get it in the shop or not. It's actually a company truck, and he just wants to pay for it out of pocket rather than put it against the insurance. I don't blame him. But I have to see. I mean, I know I can fix it. No doubt about that. The challenge is getting it inside somewhere. And of course, with the rain, I can't put everything else outside to bring that thing inside. But I'd like to do the job and like to, help him out. So I'm going to have to try to figure something out with that. See if I can't fix it. Leonard had a pasture by our house, and we can go and we got night crawlers there. Yeah. I mean, they're good creatures. Good to have. Really good to have. Okay. I don't have anything in particular to talk about today. It is the end of the year, and I can look back and think about all the stuff that has happened over this past year. Not necessarily just here, but around the world, and all that crazy stuff that is going on still today. We can look at the so-called news, the propaganda stuff they shove in our faces every day, and stuff that has happened with elections and trials and all those crazy things. And hopefully, like I said, moving forward next year, it's nothing. I know it's going to be similar, but hopefully some of that stuff will go away and get out of our lives. Now, I know that I have plans for what I want to do next year, and part of that is, of course, getting some stuff out of here that doesn't need to be here. Getting the Camaro in, as I mentioned before, doing some work on the 67 coupe to convertible, or coupe to fastback conversion, I should say. And I don't know. I don't know yet about finding the parts for it. That's something I'm going to have to try to get addressed one way or another. I also have some other people that are asking for sheet metal work, which is, again, what I'm going to focus on moving forward. I had also a gentleman send me some pictures of a 66 Mustang that needs sheet metal work. So there's a variety of things that are on the table moving forward. Now, the challenge, of course, is me getting to all that. It's nice to have stuff to keep you busy, definitely, and it's nice to have stuff that generates some income, definitely. But there's a lot of timing involved. You know how that is, trying to make sure everything continues on a smooth pattern. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to, again, kind of I hate to say a clean start next year, but kind of a clean start in how I'm going to approach things. Ray, meant to ask if you figured out the rattle in your speaker. No, I have not. I just haven't really messed with it. I finished up the radiator and stuff, got it out of that paint booth so I could get the Honda parts in there. And right now it's not really a priority. I mean, I know I need to get it done. And honestly, I'm probably going to be selling this car. I hate to say it, but I'm probably going to be selling this car. I've got to finish everything I want to do to it. I've got to do some detail work, make everything pretty underneath and nice. And then it's probably going to go up for sale and start on the next one. I get all of my satisfaction out of repairing stuff. I like to drive the car. It's cool. But because of, let's say, my background with my dad having a junkyard and cars rotating through my life constantly, um, there's nothing other than the Model A that says you're staying here. There's nothing. And it's just, if I want to keep this car nice and pretty and clean, it's going to have a place to sit. And then what? Put a cover on it and keep insurance on it and pull it out once every couple months or something. I don't know. But odds are it's going to have to go to a new home next year. Leonard, one question was that Bridgie showed was those wooden dowel pins in the sides. Okay, so you're talking about the video that I made for Patreon. If you haven't, anybody who's here that's a patron, I made a video where I talked a little bit about the shop, but I also went on kind of a road trip. And I went to some of the landmark stuff in my area. And one of those was a covered bridge. And I can't remember all the specifics on it at this point, Leonard, but the bridge was put together with like 2,500 wooden dowels or something. And the whole structure is like a cross bracing type of thing. Pretty cool bridge. It was used in the movie Lawless with Tom Hardy, and Shia LaBeouf was in it. But if you remember the movie Lawless and the shootout at the covered bridge, that was the bridge that they used. So kind of cool. I might do a follow-up video on that. I thought about making some short versions of that video and maybe putting them on my other channel. I'm not sure just yet. Dawn, I haven't worked on Betsy for a couple of weeks. No videos for spell as I get back to it. Yeah. Well, it's that time of year. It's always this time of year where things just kind of nosedive. We're maybe not as energized when the weather is yucky, rain or cold. And it's just meh kind of feeling, but I get it. Robert, we both need a bigger shop. I agree, man. I agree. And I wish there was an easy way to make a bigger shop happen, but probably not in my budget. I'll say that. Probably not in my budget to come up with a bigger shop. Leonard, sounds like you've got a full plate in front of you. Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's always plenty to do. Boogie Bum, I got a MIG welder for Christmas. Where does everyone source their gas? You just have to look up your local gas supplier. I can't think of it. The company I use is called Sidney Lee, but there's a company called Air Gas, I think, and you'll just have to, buy a tank and figure out where the nearest one is. So, Leonard, while you're selling it, and while Peterson Restoration is selling his also, yeah. I mean, again, I can't keep everything, and it's at this point, I want to work on other cars. I want to get stuff moving, get stuff done, and because it'll be when I do the next series or whatever, it'll be on my schedule. It'll be on me to get the parts. It'll be on me to put it together. I won't be waiting on somebody else to get me parts or whatever. If it comes down to it, and I have to get them, I'll get them from somewhere. But it's not going to be where I'm sitting back and going, I wish there were some parts here so I could do some work. So, Robert, Air Gas and Praxair are the main two suppliers. Looking to Gas Pony if they're in your area. Just be prepared to cost of argon CO2. It's around $80 for a 90 cubic foot bottle exchange. $80? Has it gone up? Because I know for me, it's like not even 40. for the bottle that I have. Now I don't have the super tall bottle. I have the mid-size bottle. So I don't know how big 90 cubic feet is. Steve of Staffordshire. I'm looking at restomodding a mid-60s Mustang. I live in England, so drive on the left. Do you know if it would be easy to convert to right-hand drive? There's companies that do it, but it costs. I don't know for sure. I've seen some pictures of it done, and I know the equipment is available to do it. I tend to think it wouldn't be that hard, honestly, because all you're really doing is relocating the steering, right? So depending on, and they had to obviously make them like that at some point. So there must be a kit or something available. And then, of course, the challenge of swapping the dash. Now, I have not looked into that at all, but I wouldn't think, in my opinion, of course, I tend to take on bigger challenges. I don't think it would be that hard, but you have to do some research, see what's available. Jerry, I've installed the ventilation and exhaust in the paint booth, trying to get the booth pressurized and move about 1,000 liters of flow. Fingers crossed. Cool. Good. That's a plus. Boogie Bum's thanking the Infernal Craftsman. And Robert is saying, Steve, they sold Mustangs in Australia, so I would check the forums there to see what they did to the right-hand drive ones. Yes. Bob. Hello, Bear. This is Bob from Detroit. I'm late, but I'm here. Well, I'm glad you're here. This is, again, the last live stream of 2021. So let's hope next year's better. Nandu, hi, everyone. Glad you're here. You're welcome, Steve. Jerry, the Argon CO2 for 80 cubic foot bottle is about $60. Also, I have a 220 cubic foot tank, and I can exchange it for 85. Yep. JRF and DE restorations. Nothing beats the thrill of building. Biggest reason I started doing it on the side for other people. Way more fun watching one come out of the ashes than driving it around after. Happy New Year, folks. That is a good observation. And that's really, that's where I'm at. Even at the body shop or anything that I was doing before, whenever we would finish a car, I was like, okay, where's the next one? Get this one out of the way. I want something else to come in. There's a lot of things involved that people don't realize how much effort and time and patience, skill it takes to build certain things. And whenever you have, you can manage it more yourself as to what you want to happen to the car, what you want to replace, what you want to, work on. You can manage that. Then it's on, it's on me to get it, take care of all that. And that's kind of what I want now. And again, sheet metal is my focus. I can't say that I won't paint again. But I don't see it on really high on my list of things to do. I would rather just weld in panels, make the car straight, replace floor pans, frame rails, whatever. In fact, I'm actually looking at maybe building a jig to set these bodies on. I saw one available. One somebody was trying to sell on Facebook. They wanted way too much money for it. Talked to a buddy of mine who all he does is steel fabrication on the side. That's a whole side job. And I said, hey, I sent him pictures of that thing. I said, what do you think this would cost to build? And of course, the price of steel is up. And he's like, for materials alone, probably $800. I'm not against that. I'm really not. If it does what I need and I can build the jig to hold the body on, that's fine with me. But it has to be something that I can use. And it'll probably only be made for Mustangs, honestly. I would like to have one that you could adjust, relocate bars and all that stuff. But I don't know that I really will be doing much other cars as far as that goes. So if I could come up with, the jig for a Mustang, it would get used frequently. Marshall, howdy, folks. Boogie Bum might want to check your local classifieds to get a used bottle. they can be costly to purchase, shop around on the gas. Some places charge a lot more than others. That is true. Good point and valid point, because what I did whenever I bought that little titanium MIG or TIG welder that I bought, I needed a straight argon bottle. I didn't realize that until after I bought it, that I needed a straight up argon bottle. So I looked on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something, and I found an argon bottle. Guy was selling it for like $75 or something, and it was a good bottle, valid, good bottle. And so I went and bought it. It had some gas in it, I think. I don't even know if maybe it was less than that. Maybe it was $60. Anyway, it was a good deal. But I got the argon bottle. Bob, well, happy New Year to everybody in the room, and to you, sir. Make it a safe one. Make it a safe one, everyone. Okay. I don't know if you're checking out, Bob, but I'm glad you're here. Really am. Dawn, I don't know. I've been driving Betsy for decades. I love driving her. Yeah, I get that, Dawn. I get that 100%. I really do. But it's a matter of background. I've said it before. I drove a different car almost every day growing up. So even when I started driving when I was 13. I started driving a Pinto wagon. That was my first car I drove on the road. And I would drive it. There was a farm a mile and a half, 2 miles away. And I was told, my dad said, yeah, take the Pinto, go get milk. So I would drive the Pinto wagon over and get milk at the local, farm, fresh, warm milk for us. So I went from that. I mean, I can't tell you the exact count. I've owned over 150 vehicles, way over 150 vehicles. And at the time, this would be like, this is my favorite one right now because this is what I'm driving. But it's not one I'd have to keep. But the rotation, so I don't have any other than the Model A, which has a family connection. Everything else is fair game, really. The only car that I would want to have and probably keep, and as long as I possibly could, the only singular car would be the '69 Mach 1 that my dad had, and that's the only one. But who knows where that car is at? I have no idea. Robert, we only have the big corporate suppliers here, so the prices are very high now. No more independent welding shops anymore. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, this shop is, I don't know if they have more than one station or not, but it's right down the road from me. Terry, when can I bring down our shoebox? Needs floors, quarters. Oh, yeah. I don't know, Terry. Gary, I would pay money to see a jig built. So would I. I have, I don't know if I could, let me see if I can get those. Let me see if I can get those pictures on here. It'll take me a second because I have to email them to myself. And then, let me see. Again, this is one that I saw it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. And hold on. Okay, so I'll get those mailed to me, and then I'll pull them up on here. But it looks like it's made out of 2x4 square tubing for the most part. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Okay. And in fact, the guy he's got pictures of a Mustang sitting on it. And I mean, I know I could weld something together. The only difficulty I'm going to have is getting getting all the measurements in the right place. That's kind of important. So here's the first. I'll open this one up, and I'll show you this one. So this is what the guy is trying to sell. And I like the idea. I like the design. And again, it looks like it's 2x4 square tubing. Here's another angle. Whoops. Here's another angle of it. Pretty simple. Let me see if I get the other pictures where it's got a Mustang sitting on it. And the beauty of it is, their design, it'll cover what, 65 to, what is it, 65 to 69? I can't remember. So there it is with a car sitting on it. And that's another angle there. So you can, there's variations you can incorporate as far as like width. He's got it to where it's well outside the rocker panels. I've had some other ideas for designs for myself that I've looked at, and this thing is relatively simple. Now let me tell you, the guy has this thing listed just for that. He has that listed for $2,800, which to me is too much. It's too much, but that's kind of how it is. If he gets it for it, that's what he gets. It's good for him. Steve, so what was your favorite ever restoration? Well, I'll say the most rewarding restoration that I've done was the Model A, the 1931 Model A. If you haven't seen, you can look at my channel, look up Model A videos. There's 2 videos on there. And originally the video was meant to be more for my family and me than to be put on YouTube, but I decided to put it on there because it tells the story of the car. But the Model A it's been in my family since 1958. My grandfather bought the car. My dad drove the car in high school. My mom and dad went on our first date in the car. And I got the car from my dad in 2005. I think it was 2005. I picked it up. And in 2006, I started rebuilding it. Now, this was a stressful time because I was also working at the body shop and working at my regular full-time job and working on cars here. So from 2006 to August of 2007, that's how long it took me to do the Model A. The rewarding part for that was I took it back to my hometown in Pennsylvania, and at a Heritage Day parade, my grandparents got to ride in the back of the car while my dad drove the car in the parade, and I got to see the joy of my grandparents actually enjoying the car that they had for such a long period of time. So I still have that car. It's in my house garage right now. I do drive it on occasion, but that is probably the most rewarding restoration as far as favorite goes. There's been other stuff that I've worked on. There's the 36 Dodge or 35. Is it 35? Maybe it's 35, 36 Dodge truck that I did several years ago. Truck was really rough. And in fact, I think if you were to look, I don't know if I have that picture on here or not. I don't think I have it saved. It was a farm truck from out in Wyoming, and the truck was really, really bad shape. And I got it all back to life. The cab was collapsed. The fenders were just beat to death. And that truck, I don't have a picture of it right now. But the thing was just beautiful when we were done with it. So that was 2012. And it went back to Wyoming. So good question though, Steve. Good question. Thank you for that. 67 Stang. Hey everyone, been a long time since I was able to attend one of these live sessions. Hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and are looking forward to a great 2021. This is Trip, right? Right, Trip? Hope that's right. Yeah, I hope everything is well for you. one of these days I need to come by your place and look at your car. That's another thing I want to do. Come next year, I want to do some more road trip stuff. I want to go see Marshall. I want to see Trip. There's some other people around the area that I want to kind of go see their projects and see what they have going on. So maybe we can get together when the weather's nicer. Dawn, last time I bought gas, I added an environmental fee, doubled the cost. Oh yeah. You're out on the left coast, on the leftist coast. Yeah, I haven't heard any fees added on over here, not yet. Mason, hey JJ's Garage, wanted to ask you that Mr. Coolman split it. You got, even though it heats the shop, does it have an exhaust outside for the heat like a furnace would, or do you just have a fan? Well, there is a fan outside. There is a fan unit outside, so it's like an air conditioner. If you have an air conditioner running, it puts cool air in the house and the hot air vents out of the condenser unit. Same way with the heat. It brings heat on the inside and it actually pushes cool outside, from what I understand. So yeah, but it's working good. So it doesn't have like a furnace, like a gas furnace, where it's going to have a smoky exhaust type of thing. Dawn 67 saying you've been gone a long time. Going to be 2022. Yes. Mason was wanting to know because my grandpa said are looking at buying a gas heater unit for the shop. We have thought about putting a house furnace out in the shop in the corner. Okay. Yeah, I mean this thing is just, it's clean. There's no fumes, no complaints on my side. Robert, there's also one locally on Craigslist that I sent you. It looked good, but I wish they would have used opening holes that the factory used. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get into it a little more and see what I can come up with. Trip, that's what I get for trying to multitask. Yeah. Dawn, Mason, that's what I did about an old school 40,000 BTU furnace from my shop. So there you go. Little endorsement there. Nothing wrong with that. That works. Steve, yes, seen it. Love the Model A. Yes. Yeah, and like I said, the Model A is the only one that, I don't plan for it to go anywhere. At least not for a while. I don't know what the future holds for it, but for now, it stays right here with me. Mason also wanted to ask you, does any of the classic cars you have the 8-track player in it or cassette player in it with some big amps in back? No, nothing I have has any of that stuff. None of that. Brendan is checking in from New Zealand. Now remember, he'll celebrate New Year's before we will, right? He is ahead of us. Glad you're here, Brendan. Okay, yeah, there's Trip. Anytime, just come on up. Just got my EFI installed. Okay, that's a good thing. Good. Robert picked up steel today, and there's a place next door that has an old Peterbilt and an old Mack truck, a small Mack semi that would be a cool project. Okay. Yeah. You need another project. Get that in there. Start working on it. Marshall, sounds great, Barry. If you come visit your son at his new job, I'm not too far from that area. Would love to meet in person. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. He's up. We've been up to the Marietta Square, ate some good tacos up there, some sort of taco place. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, that sounds like, you're not far away at all then. Isaac, the jig looks like a great idea, but I would like it if it was pinned for storage purposes. And Happy New Year, Isaac. Okay, thank you, Isaac. Yeah, you're talking about not making it a rigid structure so that it could be put aside. And I get that. I would, I get that. Because that will take up space. There's no doubt about it. Something like that will take up space. And there's probably some revisions that could be made to it to make it work in that way. But the center structure of it really, it's got to be welded together as much as possible. Would it be convenient to have the uprights on a pivot, like a hinge? Yeah. And then you could pivot them down out of the way or whatever. Would it be convenient to be able to take it off of the wheels? All that stuff. Yeah. And why I see it is, if you made it so that the uprights could be moved, then you could stand up the whole thing on its side, assuming you have an open space. I don't have the open space, but you could stand it up on its side, put it against the wall somewhere, um, and just till you need it. But I do like the way this looks. And again, the challenge is coming up with the exact measurements. Um, Part of what I had thought about too was, when I roll the 67 in here, uh, when I roll the 67 in here, that's just going to be the bare body, right? Hardly anything in it. I don't think the car has ever been wrecked. So I was debating on using that as a guide for building my jig, because I've had several ideas. I've had one where it was like that one that he has. I had another idea where uh, the whole thing would like sit on the floor, the base, and just have the post sticking up, so that the bottom of it, you could actually have it just on the floor. But the difficulty is trying to shim things. You want to make sure you can level it out, make sure everything's level. If your floor is a little bit off, it could cause problems. So I mean, I'd probably even incorporate some screw jack type of deals to where you could adjust the feet and make it level. Mason wanted to ask you when the giveaway is on the hatch. Just wondering what the date was. Okay, I had mentioned that earlier. I think I'll just do it tomorrow. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it today or tomorrow, but I think I'll make the video and have it out tomorrow. Why not? Last video of the year, right? Why not? Robert, put wheels on the side of it and roll it up against the wall. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking of. But I have some other ones I want to look at. I just need I want some ideas. I need some ideas to float around in my head for a while. Nandu, time to get to the garage. Happy New Year to everyone. Glad you're here, Nandu. Happy New Year to you. Steve, so would the jig fit all 65 to 68 Mustangs? Yes. Because the floor pan's the same. Like the Dynacorn floor pan. It's the same from 65 to 68. I don't know what the difference is on the 69. If there is a slight bit of length difference, I don't know. But I would assume with a little tweaking, you could use it for 69 and 70. I don't see why you couldn't. I'd have to have like the measurements for that, but I don't at this point. But I do want to experiment a little with some ideas, maybe some drawings. And it would be nice if it's something that you could kind of, like I said, collapse or set aside. So we'll see what happens. If I can find the right materials, because at one point I had an idea, the old, the shelving units for like industrial shelving units, where they have big post uprights and they have, I don't know how long the legs are. They're like 12 feet or really huge. I had thought about finding some place that was scrapping those out and just use those long legs. They have the big hooks on the end that lock in, and some bracing. I thought about getting some of those and making my parallels out of those. But there's still a lot of ideas that I have rolling around in my head. Okay, Mason. Yep. Brendan, still haven't started on my 68 barrier. Maybe 2022 is a year, new job, and COVID lockdowns here slowed things down a little. I'm sure they did. Now over here they're trying to, how do I want to put it, minimize the risk or whatever. They're trying to make it sound like which you can debate on all that stuff, how risky everything is, whatever. But now they're like, instead of 10 days of lockdown, we'll put you at 5. And, You don't need to wear. You can't wear a fabric mask or something, and blah blah. I don't know. I tend to not keep up with much of it, um, but I understand it's a little more um, enforced, let's say, over New Zealand and Australia. I know it's been kind of um, crazy there. Trip says, Brennan, looking forward to your 68 project. Yes. Dawn, how about adjustable post-it slide in the pockets in the floor would break down to a small package? That would be a good idea, I think, if I actually had, if I had planned that before I put in my floor. Like, I get what you're saying. That would be a great idea. If I'm not going to tear up my concrete, but if you could have located everything within posts in the concrete, yeah, that would be awesome. Just have the post there, and just have them out of your way. That's a great idea, but a little late. I don't. Maybe my next shop will have that. Robert, lots of places sell used pallet racking. Might be cheaper than the tube, but more work than the tube. I have some ideas for attachable posts that will keep your spacing, but require some lathe work. Okay, yeah, I actually have a friend who could do the lathe work for me. He's the same guy that could do all the welding for me. You know, if I wanted him to build it, he does. If you look up, I think he's on Instagram, Barnyard Welds. Barnyard Welds on Instagram. Brendan, have to be double jabbed here to do a lot of things now, and have to show the passport to prove double jab. Yeah, no. I hate it for you. Yeah, and that's not happening. Not here. Not for me. But I understand. Sometimes you don't have a choice. I understand that. Don, you could drill holes like concrete plug test. Yeah, I guess I could. I guess that's possible. But I don't know if I want to get into the concrete. I already have this shop was built in 96. So it's 25 years old. And there's some I've got a crack in the middle of the floor right now that started from a tree that got underneath and the root got underneath it. I don't know if I want to be messing with too much more of my concrete at this point. Richard, didn't you assemble a body dolly cart for the convertible build that will not be named that you could modify into the jig? That is, yeah, I could. I did think about doing that. Part of me wants to use that body cart, right, and put the structure for the jig, make it sit on top of that. That's one of the ideas that I had, because then the body cart jig, it breaks down. It'll all go up against the wall and kind of disappears up against the wall. And then the jig itself could just sit on top of that. I have thought of that. And that's a great idea. And it may be what I end up doing, because I don't need to have both. I don't need a separate. And then I could, by doing that, if I want to use the body cart jig by itself, I take off the frame jig, set the body on it, and I can do whatever I want with it. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. Wally, Brendan's Garage, New Zealand, same here in Canada. Yeah, with the jabs and passport. That's one reason I'll say I'm happy that I retired from the job that I had. I am happy about that. Because I don't have anybody telling me what I have to do. And nobody, which is a good thing for me personally. Brendan, I had to get both to keep my job. Yeah, I understand that. And that's I fully understand that. If I had not been in a position where I could take my retirement package, then I probably would be in the same boat. I probably would be in the exact same boat as you. And I mean, I understand. I know most of the people I know have had to do all that. My son has had to have it done. My oldest son, my daughter has had it. Uh, so it's an unfortunate reality that we're all dealing with even now. Iron Horse Garage, hello sir. Sorry I missed a bunch of your stuff lately. That's okay. That's okay. I am glad you're here. I am glad you're here. I was laughing at something you put on Instagram the other day. I don't know what it was. There was a golf club involved. I don't know what. I forget what it was. Swinging a golf club and hitting some food or something. I don't remember what it was. Trip, looks like I need to rebuild my steering box and deal with how hard that is. Is the Scott Drake rebuild kit any good? That I can't tell you. I can't tell you how hard it is. And what's telling you need to rebuild that? What's telling you need to rebuild that? Because sometimes you just need to tighten up the steering box. Sometimes, and that's a minor adjustment. That's a minor adjustment. So look into it a little more before you dedicate yourself to actually taking it all apart and rebuilding it, unless there's something really driving into that. Iron Horse, I try to keep up on everyone's stuff, but it's tough sometimes. Yeah, I know the feeling. It's just I'm the same way. I try to keep up with people, and half the time I'm already doing something else, and it's like, oh, whatever they put. Like I haven't looked at. I don't know if he's put anything out about Andrew from Grease Rookie Garage. I don't know if he's put anything out lately. Wally's been putting out some good stuff. Dawn's has some good stuff out there. I've been catching up on some of that. So, I understand. It's tough trying to keep up. And Robert says 67 Mustang, there's a guy on the Mustang forum that rebuilds them. There's more to it than what is in the kit. So there's some good information. Iron Horse, yeah, eating a Hot Pocket. Okay, yeah, I knew there was something there. Someone with a golf club. See, you have the advantage, man. You have the advantage because you have at least, it must be 2 or 3 of you in the shop where you're at. And I would love to have somebody else here helping out or, working together with somebody, but I don't have that advantage. So you have the advantage there. Makes me jealous. Brendan, thanks, Barry. Anyway, having a great time with my new motorbike. Great fun. Good for you. Glad to hear that. Stay safe, man. Stay healthy. Trip, lots of slop in the box, and I've adjusted as much as it will allow. Okay. Now I get it. Okay. Iron Horse saying howdy, Brendan. Steve, sounds like you've done some incredible restorations. What would be your dream resto now? What do you have left on your list? That is a good question. There's a lot of things on my list that I may never get to just because. I think 69 Mach 1 would be high on my list if I could get a hold of one. I would like the Acapulco Blue, like my dad had. It was a 351 Windsor 4-speed Acapulco Blue, black interior, the quintessential Mach 1. That was to me, the most popular configuration. So I would probably like to do one of those, but part of me would like to do a Studebaker. I love Studebakers. I grew up around Studebakers. My dad had several. My brother had them. If money wasn't the priority, there's at least one Studebaker that I would probably spend time on. That I think it's still up at the junkyard. It is a 64, for lack of a better term, let's say Super Daytona. Let's just put it that way. It's I talked about it before. It's one that was made like a dealer ordered item to where it had all the options. It was a 4-door with factory bucket seats, automatic on the floor, disc brakes, posi traction rear end, had the big transmission in it, had the big R1 Avanti engine in it, had all the bells and whistles that were available at that time period, and we think it was built as a dealer show car, to where they could, demonstrate stuff to people. That car is rotted into the ground basically, but again, if money was no object, I would love to bring that car back to life just to say this is a really cool piece of history. Unfortunately, it's not something that's practical, but I would love to do one of those. Other than that, you know, I don't know what's going to end up on my list, because there's a chance I could end up with my brother's 64. He does have a 64 Studebaker. Since he passed away, his wife has it. Not sure what the plans are for that. My dad has a 63 Avante, Studebaker Avante, that I don't know what's happening with that car. It's been sitting for years and years and years and years, and I don't know if he's planning on what's going to happen with that car. But there's so many cool cars out there, but those would probably be somewhere up on the top side of my list of cars I would want to do. Paul, I didn't realize that you had an Instagram account. I'll take a look shortly and follow. Cool. Thank you. I actually have a TikTok too. Not a lot posted on there. I was trying to, build TikTok and figure something out with that, but it's not done the greatest. Oh, Bob says, Barry, what is your email address? There it is at the bottom of the screen, joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. So if you're looking to send me something email wise, that's where you would send it. Let me see where we're at here. Marshall, for me, without a lift, one of the hardest parts of doing the steering box is getting it in and out of the car. The higher you can get the vehicle, the better. That's a valid point. Valid point. Brendan says, Happy New Year to Big Iron Horse Garage. Big countdown tonight over here. That's right. He gets to have the new year before we do. Make sure you ring it up good, Brandon. Make sure it's a good new year, or don't bring it to us. If you can't bring it in good, just keep it. We'll skip it. Robert, were you adjusting the over center or the nut around the input shaft? So, Trip, Robert's asking you a question. Iron Horse, more than one guy makes a difference for sure, even just for camera shots or getting things done. Oh, believe me. When I had that film crew here filming for Yes Welder, I was like, oh, this is so much better. I don't have to set up a camera. I don't have to set up a light. I don't have to, think about this. They just record it and then they do all the editing. I was like, oh, please do this more often. Do this more often. Terry, I work cheap, Barry, just food. Yeah, I'm usually pretty good with just food myself. Donald, hi Barry from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. Glad you're here. Steve, I just looked up a 64 Studebaker. Lush. Yeah, 64 Daytona. And if you really want to look up what I was talking about, if you want to look at some history, look up the Flying Tomato. Look up the Flying Tomato and the history of that car. And the Granatelli brothers, they took Studebaker performance parts off of the shelf and stuffed them into family type cars and went out and raced them. Granatellis. So that was part of the thing. They were trying to bring Studebaker back to life with hot rod performance stuff, the superchargers and big engine stuff and all that. But yeah, look up the Flying Tomato. That'll give you really some more insight. Brian, did I miss a show? Been busy clearing snow. Good to see everyone. No, you're good. You're here. Iron Horse, I'll get you on your TikTok, Bear. I think we have 39 followers there. I actually, and maybe I've kind of dropped the ball a little bit, because on my TikTok, let me see what it comes up as. Because it's just Joe Daddy's Garage, and it's like Joe_Daddy's_Garage. I have 3,600 followers on there. I have 3,600 followers on there, and 12,500 likes. And I've only put out like, I don't know, 20 some videos. And yeah, check it out. Isaac just sent you an email with some pics of a jig. Looks like adjustable arms. Oh, okay. Ah. Now, what are those from? Where'd you get those? Let me see if I can pull those up. I'll grab them real quick. So here's one that he's showing me. Let me pull your comment down so it's out of the way. Oh, that's a different type of jig. So they're using the door mounts. That's a fully adjustable jig. That's almost like it's designed for just about any kind of car by the looks of it, because it's got a sleeve around the box, and then the doors. Yeah, it's all adjustable. I like it. I wonder who makes that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oops, go back over here, pull that off. Okay. Robert. Okay, there's a comment from Trip. So he did make some adjustments. And Robert is saying to Trip, send me an email and my username, and I'll send you the info for the guy that rebuilds them. So I'm thinking it's the Infernal Craftsman at gmail.com. Is that right? Would that be correct? Jerry, my friend, has a Studebaker two-door. He has stripped it to bare metal now, races it in the Mexico Baja races. Not sure how he is doing, but it is a very cool car. Yeah. Yeah. In the Baja races? Ooh, that's got to be rough. Brian, does Infernal Craftsman have a channel, and is this a rotisserie build on it? Yeah, it is. The Infernal Craftsman does have his channel, and that's where he's doing the rotisserie build. Yes. So check him out if you haven't already. JR picked up a 68 GTO a few months back. That will be a keeper for me. I fire back up my YouTube when I go to build that one too. Love Mustangs, but always dreamed of having a GTO on my own. 68 GTO, yeah, that's a cool car. And you'll fire up YouTube when you get back. Okay. When you get back to build that one. All right, cool. Yeah. That's good. 68 GTO, I'll give you a bell for that. Iron Horse just followed you on TikTok. You're doing way better than we are. Well, thanks. If that correlates to any kind of income, I would like it to happen, but I don't know how all that works. Okay, so it is Infernal Craftsman at gmail.com. Hey, welcome, Brian. Isaac. Have no idea who made that jig. I just researched restoration jigs. Okay. Ish. Hello, everyone. 4 hours at DMV. Want an adventure. That's why I'm late. Ooh. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all. That's not the place I want to be. But I hope you got everything figured out, whatever's going on. But glad you're here. Again, this is the last show of the year. 2021. Go away. Don't look back. Move forward. Make a brighter tomorrow, right? We're counting on Brendan to bring in the new year, right? He's going to be there before any of us. So we're counting on him in New Zealand. Get it right. Set the ground rules. Make it happen. You know. But yeah, it's good to see the year go away. Go away. As I mentioned, I'm going to be working on other projects, trying to get stuff done. And hopefully everybody, gets caught up in getting parts, making progress, um, building the cars, whatever, because it's, you know, this whole idea of restoring these cars, it seems to be in a certain generation bracket, right? There's, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of younger people that are getting into this stuff. Of course, they're working on whatever other type of car, but the bracket for what we're doing, I'm not even sure where that is. Because there's some people I've met who are in their 20s, maybe in their 30s, but it seems like a lot of people 30s into 60s and 70s are working on these Mustangs and trying to keep stuff going. And it's up to us to keep it alive, right? Make this stuff happen. Robert, when I renewed my license last year, it was the easiest it has ever been. Had an appointment and was there no more than 15 minutes. I hope to never change it. Yeah. Well, I think for me at this point, hopefully, um, I have a veteran's license, and I think it's simple for me. I don't know yet. Um, it may be just a mail-in thing at this point, but I haven't pursued it yet. It's not time since I got it. It's not been time to renew it. Iron Horse, Brendan, tell us what the future holds. Yes, and hopefully it's something good. Dustin, long time no talk. Life is life. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I did. I hope you did as well, and I'm hoping for a happy New Year, a good New Year, a good year, a good life coming up next year. Something positive, good things. um, but at this point, I'm probably about done with today's show, but I'm trying to get the Honda parts in paint, and to that end, I have everything in primer: the hood, bumper cover, fender, and the grill insert. And today, hopefully, still today yet, if I can, I'm going to do the underside of the hood and get it in color. But there's something else I wanted to mention to you, and I may do a video on this because I feel like I need to do a video on this. You've all seen me spray with different paint guns and spray guns, right? And we've talked about the Black Widow guns, and I've learned maybe a painful lesson with the Black Widows. Um, and I don't have it. Let me just grab it real quick. But I may do a video on this because I think it's important to know. Now, nothing wrong with the gun itself. Nothing wrong with the gun itself. This thing has worked fine. It has done what I wanted it to do. Um, Sprays. This is my base. This is the primer and base gun. Okay, it says it can be done from primer and base. This is the one with the 1.7 tip. And if you watched in one of my other videos, somebody commented I was spraying something. I forget what it was, the motorcycle gas tank or something. And um, it was like it was kind of like hit and miss. Okay. Well, I was spraying primer on the panels, and I was getting that same kind of spit kind of sensation. And I thought, man, what is going on with this? And I remembered that it had done that before. So I took this thing apart. Well, this is a copy of a SATA gun. I don't know what model number, but it's a copy of the SATA. So this knob right here controls your fan. So you can, wide or narrow fan. This sets your needle depth. This sets your airflow. Okay. Well, if you look at the physics of it, the only thing that affects air movement is going to be this one. This is your needle, so that just controls your action there, and that's the size of the fan. And I want to do a video on this because there's an O-ring in here, and apparently that O-ring failed. Why is that a problem? Well, because you can't get the O-ring for this. I tried to do a little research on it. Of course, Harbor Freight doesn't stock that. I went to a paint supply place. They tried to give me some O-ring. It wouldn't fit. It was a different size. I don't know if it's in the SATA, like if it's a direct copy of the SATA to where you could buy the ring from SATA. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I think people need to know there's no parts that I know of for this. Unless somebody knows, or if you know of any parts available for this, send me an email or something. But at this point, I had to set this gun aside and pull out my old standby, which is this is the gun I've used in the past. This purple thing, and this thing, I've used this for several years, and I went back to this to spray the rest of that primer. Sprayed out beautiful. So anyway, this is a cheap gun. This was a kit that you got a purple gun and a red gun and a little touch-up gun at the paint store for $100. You got all three of these with tops and everything. So anyway, I'm not sure how I feel about this unless I can find the parts for it. Brian, when I was in school, they would actually chain up the buses to get the rural kids. Today I went to DMV and they were closed due to snow. When did my state become so wussified? Hey, let me tell you, there's another thing. We talk about having chains on the buses. Yeah, where I grew up, and I'm going to try to say this. How do I want to say this? I've said this before, and it sounded odd the way I said it. They had, in front of the wheels, they had these little chutes. Looked like exhaust pipe came down, and there was a canister inside the bus. And they would use coal ash, leftover from burning coal. You would have ashes, and they would put that in those canisters with some sand or something, and then release it so that it came out in front of the wheels. I'm not going to say it the way I said it before. So it would spread the stuff in front of the wheels or tires so that it could get traction. So you can say it however you want, but it was ashes or ash, and then when it was dispersed, it was a spreader. I'm not going to say it. Brian, closed due to snow. Yeah, okay. Robert, when I was in school, if the power went out or the well pump went down, we still had school. Yeah. We actually had to get out and push the buses. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. On my school bus route, if the bus driver got stuck, she would tell us to get all off and push the bus to get it unstuck. And we did. Steve, discovered your channel a week ago and I've been binge watching with my 85-year-old father. We watched all the Brooklyn Pony, but it didn't seem to get finished. What happened to it? We'll just say that it's not going to get finished. Not by me. It was progressed really well up to a certain point, and then things just kind of fell apart on it. And I've decided I'm not going to work on it anymore. I put in a lot of time into that car and done what I can to it. But unfortunately, it's not going to be finished by me. It's going to go to another builder probably in the next week or so, and he's going to finish it. So complicated story. But that's where it's at right now. And that's where it's going to be. Paul says, oops. Oh yeah. On the gasket. Brian, yes, we had Sanders on ours too. Yep. And Greg's workshop checking in. Cool. Been trying to keep up with Greg on his English wheel. He's been building a really industrial style English wheel. Really cool stuff. Really well built. I mean, it's built like a tank, and that's the kind of equipment I like. It's built like a tank, and he's doing a good job with that. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. The throat's starting to get a little sore, and next year is not far away. We're let's see, it's 12:30 to 24 and 34 hours away from us, roughly. Am I right? Something like that. 34 hours, I think. But it'll be really good. Leonard says, "Happy New Year's, Brandon. Let's go. Happy New Year, Brandon." Okay. Like I said, I will probably do the video for the hat giveaway, have it out tomorrow, and we'll figure out how that all plays out. But let's see. Okay. All right. So again, I want you all to have a happy new year. Have a safe, happy new year. Enjoy yourselves. Don't do anything stupid. You know, if you're drinking, don't drive, or have somebody else drive you. Stay close to your family. Stay safe. Do all those things that make it a good time that you can continue on and enjoy the rest of the year in your life. But that's going to be it for today. And until next year, I'll just say that. Until next year, take care of yourselves. See ya.